you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby, baby. Oh.
It is. Again, I think because of this desire to have a real sort of joyful and loving side of this record that I'm doing, that was one of the songs that I really wanted to do. Everyone knows the Marvin Gaye track and knows this sort of very upbeat thing, but I also thought that there was a poignancy in the lyrics that maybe a different treatment, maybe a little bit slower treatment and putting it into a minor key would bring out that sort of poignancy and that sort of desire and that real gratitude of the lyrics of it feels so sweet to be in this world and to be loved by this person. So I really wanted to bring that out in the song. I first had the idea to do a soul covers record when I was asked to participate in this film called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, which is a documentary about the band, the Funk Brothers, who were all the original Motown studio musicians. There was a big film made about them, and a lot of different modern guest artists came in. People like Chaka Khan and Ben Harper and myself came in to do performances of these old Motown songs with these guys. And I just had such an amazing time, and it was such a great way to reconnect with that kind of music, which is what I grew up singing and really got my start singing, the blues and soul music. So it just got me thinking to just go ahead and do something, to make a soul covers record and try to do it in a way that was for a modern audience, not just go back and do the arrangements the same way that they did them, but to try to update the songs so that they would play for a modern audience. Well, it's definitely different for me to do an album of cover songs than it is to do an album of songs that I've written or co-written with other people. So yeah, it's a different kind of a record. And even though I started out singing a lot of blues music and soul music, I think in a way there are things that I can bring to these songs now because of, the fact that I'm a little bit older and have a little more life experience and can understand some of the lyrics in the songs a little bit more deeply than I did before, that I felt like it was really a worthwhile thing to do. I mean, when it was initially suggested to me, I actually wasn't that interested because I thought, these are soul songs, it's, everybody knows them, these are older things. But the more that I thought about it and the more that I actually looked at the songs, I realized that there was a lot in there that was meaningful to me and that I thought would be meaningful to other people, in this moment in the world. John Leventhal I had known actually for many years because he was kind of a New York City session player, and I used to do all my gigs in New York City. I started out as a New York City club artist. So we had sort of known each other and seen each other a little bit. And then I went off, to do my albums, and he went off and produced a lot of great records for people like Sean Colvin. And I was always aware of him and always sort of wanted to work with him, but we had never really had the opportunity to work together. But we happened to do a show together. He's got a band called Mojo Mancini, and they were doing a post 9/11 concert of just free music for New York people in a club. And they called me to come down and sing, and I came down to sing with the band, and we got along great, and we did a few more of those club shows like that. And we really clicked together and really, I think, respected each other and had a lot of ideas similar. So when it came time to choose a producer for this record, he was the first person that I thought of. Axis Bold as Love. Actually, that was a John Leventhal suggestion. I never would have really even thought of that as being a soul song. But it was a favorite of his, and he brought it in. And there's these very psychedelic lyrics in the verses, and then you get this great chorus of "They're all as bold as love," and I just thought that was such a great sentiment to have on the record. And I was a little intimidated by the song at first because the lyrics are very psychedelic and very bizarre. But we ended up working on it, John Leventhal and myself, and it ended up turning out really good. So I'm very happy that it's on the record. Yeah, Love's in Need of Love Today. It's a Stevie Wonder song. It's the first track on Songs in the Key of Life, which is one of my favorite records. And it was a friend of mine suggested it when I was looking around for material to do it. I asked all my friends, what song should I do for this record? And a friend of mine suggested it. and it just fit perfectly with the themes that I was trying to bring out.
If love and peace you treasure, then hear me when I said love's in need of love today. Send now, don't delay, send yours in my way.
It's not, some of the lyrics are serious, but it's not a down, depressing song. It's as if the person who wrote the song and is singing the song has discovered this sort of answer to a lot of the troubles and the questions that are going on, is that we just have to bring out the love that's in us in every situation, and I think that's the message of the song. And I was really excited and really fortunate to sing that song for Stevie Wonder himself and to induct him into the Songwriters Hall of Fame this last year. So I was actually really nervous, but it was amazing. It was amazing to be able to sing one of my favorite Stevie songs for him and the audience, and it was like a peak experience, I think, for me. People know, I think, the original version. I think they know the Bruce Springsteen version that came out during the Gulf War. So it's a song that's been done, and I really wanted to try to bring it into sort of an internal place, and we set it to a blues rhythm and did it more as a blues, almost like a lament, you know, and to really express, I think, and acknowledge the kind of loss that exists for people in times of war. And we're certainly in one of those times now. Everything that's happening both in New York City, Washington, D.C., in the Middle East, it's a difficult time for people, and I felt like that song could kind of express that sort of sadness and acknowledge that kind of loss that happens in a time like this. Smiling Faces was one of the coolest songs to cut in the studio, because I was really fortunate to have a couple of guest musicians, actually 3 guest musicians, come in. Amir Thompson, who is the drummer for The Roots, he's also known as Questlove, he came in to play drums on it. Had this amazing feel. He plays on all the D'Angelo records, and I'm a huge fan of his, so I was really fortunate that he agreed to come in and play on it. And Michelle Ndegeocello came in to play some bass on it, so the session was just incredible. And we also, a few days later after the initial tracks were cut, Isaac Hayes came in to do some singing on it. So this track is like the cavalcade of stars. All the guest artists came in and did it. And it was pretty exciting. We have some tours booked for the fall and possibly into the winter. So definitely look for us to come to your town if you want to come see the show. Yeah, well, I mean, all the songs are